Section 7.4 is about adding and subtracting rational expressions. So, two or more square roots, or cube roots for that matter, that have the same radicands are called like radicals. So that means what's under their radical is the same. And we treat these terms similarly to like terms in an equation, and we combine them. So if I have 7 square root of 11 and 6 square root of 11, that's kind of like 7x plus 6x. 7 plus 6 is 13, so I'd have 13x or 13 square root of 11. If I have 2 square root of 18 minus 5 square root of 2, the first thing we're going to want to do is simplify the square root of 18. The square root of 18 is 3 squared times 2. That means we take that 3 to the outside. I've got 2 times 3 square root of 2 minus 5 square root of 2. So it's 6 square root of 2 minus 5 square root of 2 gives us the square root of 2. So that's just a couple of worked out examples for you. Now let's try and do some on our own. So if I have the square root of 5x minus 7 square root of 5x, remember this kind of has an imaginary coefficient of 1. 7 minus 1 minus 7 is a negative 6 square root of 5x. Next, I'm going to take the square root of 12. 12 factors into a 4 and a 3. 4 is 2 squared. So I have 7 square root of 3 plus 2 squared, square root of 2 squared times the square root of 3. So 7 square root of 3 plus 2 square root of 3 would be 9 square root of 3. So if you aren't feeling super confident at simplifying your radicals, practice that a little bit more before you move on to this section. If I have 3 square root of 24 plus the square root of 54, 24, that factors into a 6 and a 4. There's a 2 and a 3. 2, 2, so 2 squared. So I have 3 square root of 2 squared times 2 times 3. That gives me 3 times 2 times the square root of 2 times 3, which is 6. So I've got 6 square root of 6. If I have 54, 54 factors into 2 times 27, which is 9 times 3, which is 9 times 3 times 3. So that would give me the square root of 3 squared plus 2 times 3, which is 3 square root of 2 times 3, which is 3 square root of 6. These have the same radical parts. 6 square root of 6 plus 3 square root of 6 is 9 square root of 6. So if I have 2 times the square root of 20x, remember that 20 square root of 20 is 2 square root of 5. We've solved this one quite a bit before, so as you work on these, some of them will stick in your head. So I've got 2 times 2 square root of 5x minus 45x. Well, 45 is 9 times 5. That's a 3 squared. So I have 3 square root of 5x. So that gives me 4 square root of 5x minus 3 square root of 5x, which is just the square root of 5x. Final answer. For problem 3, if I have 2 square root of 3 minus 4 square root of 5, I can't simplify that any further because their radicands, or what's under the radical, is not the same. So if I have 2 cube root of x squared plus y plus the cube root of negative 8 x to the 5th y, so I've got 2 cube root of x squared y, can't simplify that any further. The cube root of 8 is a negative 2. X to the 5th is x cubed times x squared, so I can pull out an x cubed. I've got negative 2x times the square root of x squared plus y. So I have 2 minus 2x times the square root of x squared y. If I have the square root of 4x cubed, x cubed is 3x's, so I've got one set of x squareds. So the square root of 4 is 2. So I've got 5 times 2x square root of x. So I have 10x square root of x. And then I'm taking the cube root. So I have 3. Cube root of 64 is 4. 5x to the 4th got 2, 3, 4. I'm taking the cube root. So I've got 1x, cube root of x. So I have 10x square root of x plus 12x cube root of x. But I can't go ahead and combine these because this is a square root and this is a cube root. The degree on the radical, sorry, the index on the radical has to be the same. Now let's go ahead and distribute. So I've got 2 times the square root of 75 over the square root of 16 plus 4. The square root of 8 is 2 square root of 2. Square root of 75. 75 is 3 times 5 squared. So I have 2 times 5 square root of 3 over 4 plus 4 times 2 square root of 2. Square root of 32 is 2 times 16, which is 4 times 4. So I've got 4 square root of 2. My square root of 2's cancel. I have 10 square root of 3 over 4 plus 4 times 1/2. Well, I guess I should have left that as 2/4. So I've got 10 square root of 3 over 4 plus 8 square root of 4. So I have 10 square root of 3 plus 8/4. We can go ahead and take out a factor of 2. I've got 5 square root of 3 plus 4 over 2. Not the happiest of examples.